What's going on, everyone? We are here with our latest creator interview. I think this makes our, 37th week in a row. Something like that.
37.
Yeah, 37. So this week we actually have someone local from Jacksonville. He is the creator of Cremisi. It's been going on he's on issue 4 right now. It's Issac Fox, also the owner of Astral Ticket Publishing.
Yes.
Okay, I knew it was ATP.
Yeah, ATP Publishing. Yeah. It's fine.
Okay, so I've known Issac for a while, and
we have. Corey's a great guy.
Don't
message him on Facebook. He's nice.
Issac has a Kickstarter coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? What you have coming up with Cremisi issue number 4, correct?
Yes, it is number 4. We have a new Kickstarter coming out for the 4th book. It starts the 11th, so that's this week, Thursday, I believe. We have, for the first time, we're offering variant covers. We have covers from the Anna Zhao was covered in color for us. We have covers from Jason Hare. We have covers from my personal artists, Sayako Rush and Mitsu, who did issue 4 for us. We've also got the debut cover from Eric Chen in an Acura homage. We've also got, for the first time ever, naughty and nice cover variants. So if you're a little more cultured, you like things a little more tasteful, we've got that for you too.
The Art Germ Collectibles, Eric Chen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just so people know, Eric Chen is a guy that Art Germ Collectibles helps out, and this will be his first cover, and it is so exciting. If you guys are not following him, you really should be. He's put up some really cool stuff lately, from a Ninja Batman to a Dr. Girlfriend, all the way to this beauty right here. Show that one more again.
Absolutely.
That
is a beautiful cover.
That is very beautiful.
If you were a fan of the classic anime and manga, especially Akira, which is where we got the reference from this from, it'll be right up your alley.
Or as us non-anime folks call it, Akira.
Akira, I've heard both. Yeah. I may be butchering it. I don't know.
You said Acura. I thought you did a car.
Yeah, it's a car. There we go. The entire thing sponsored by Acura.
So show some of the other creators you have. What else?
So normally Sayako Rush does our books. She's done issues 1 through 3, and she's done all of those. Sayako took a year off for maternity, so we had an artist named Mitsu come in and take over for us. She did the interior art, and she did our standard cover, which we're calling Cake Time, which you have here. Ooh, bring down a little bit. That's where the camera's at. So that's our standard cover. All the digital downloads will come with that cover. We have also got for the first time ever, a crossover cover we did with a friend of ours named Kitsune Windsor. Does a book called Foxy and Wolfie Chaos. They've done Kickstarters and stuff. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's very family friendly, very cute, very wholesome. But we also have a cover with one of his characters. We have Cremisi's Alice on the right and his girl Rosa on the left. This also comes in a naughty variant, if you prefer that. We will have that available as well. We have Sayako did come back towards the end of issue 4, so she decided to do a cover for us for the 4th book. So she did this one here, which is more traditional, more like our other covers look for issues 1 through 4, or 1 through 3. This is the Midnight Run cover. And we'd also had Miss Anna Zhao do a colored variant of that cover for us. So we also have that. Very pretty colors, very vibrant. And our last cover we have here is we got with a group called Danger Zone 1. Again, if you were kind of in an independent manga crowd, you might have seen their work before. We talked to them and got them to do another crossover with us. We have this cover here featuring on the which side is this going to be for you guys? The right over here, Maria from Cremisi issues 1 through 2, and their girl Madison Winter here. Both law enforcement ladies, both very pretty, and both have a naughty variant as well. And if you're curious, the printed out book, which the book is completely done. The only thing we have left to do is print it, sign it, and ship it to you. I've got here a fully printed version of the book, all the pages inside, all nice and done. Everything is ready to go. We just have to mass print it and get it in your hands.
So, I mean, that's a little bit different from a lot of the Kickstarters you see. A lot of them, they will have it partially done, or
they're trying to
have worked on it. They want to fund it on the way to get there.
Exactly.
You took the time to actually complete the works, get everything done, and as soon as the Kickstarter, as soon as you collect the money, everything's printed and things are
exactly. We did that with issues 1, 2, and 3. We have a very good reputation about delivering on our promises. Everything we've ever offered has been completed. When we go to a Kickstarter, we try to make sure everything's ready, or at least 99% ready before we do that. Don't really like the idea of promising we're going to complete it and not doing it. So we do have everything ready to go from the very beginning. And yes, Comic Dojo, a naughty cover, meaning that it's an example for this one right here. Some of this clothing, it goes away. It's just straight gone. And what replaces it is nudity and some lingerie. I can't show those here, but on the Kickstarter.
Why not?
Because Greg told me not to.
Greg.
I was told not to.
Ruined my fun. No. So, this is your 4th Kickstarter.
Yes, it is.
What are some of the things that you've kind of learned and gone through? So you got number 1. How was that one for you? How big of a learning curve? How much different are you running number 4 from number 1?
Completely. Number 1 was I had no idea what I was doing. It was kind of like those, you're like a kid, you show up in a candy store with starry eyes, like you want everything, but you can't afford everything, but you try to get a little bit of everything anyways, and you end up with an upset tummy. That's basically kind of what happened. It was like I tried to go too big, or I tried to offer rewards that I thought would be popular, and we did well. We got funded for sure, and we garnered a lot of fan base, and the reviews on the first book were phenomenal. It was very popular, but I could have done better. And I went to issue 2 and I learned a little bit more. I went to issue 3, learned a little bit more. Issue 3 had a different vibe to it though, so we could kind of market it a little bit differently. When I came to 4 though, I had the opportunity to meet Corey and Greg doing what they were doing. I'd known these guys for a while, but I'd never really consulted with them. And I sat down with them and said, hey guys, look, I want to know, how can I be better? What does everybody else doing? And they guided me to gentlemen like Dan Mendoza, Brian Polito, people who are very good at what they do, especially running Kickstarters. And I sat down and looked at what they did. Even more, most recently, Anna Zhao, looking at her Kickstarter, which was a phenomenal success. I went, okay, this is what they're doing and how they're structuring their stuff. I should follow in their footsteps. I should learn from these people who are clearly more experienced than I am. And that's what we've done for issue 4. We've gone ahead and we've offered different covers. I've got Jason Hare, Anna Zhao, Eric Chen, colors by Sanju Nivangune. We've got crossover covers. We went out of the way to focus things that people on Kickstarter tend to gravitate more towards. So we're just learning. We're adding more to what we do. We're getting more experienced. And issue 4 is by far the best looking Kickstarter we've ever done. The graphics for the page look better. The layout is better. Everything is more simplistic, kind of like, the ways that I've seen guys that are very successful on Kickstarter do it. But we're more to the point, and it's cleaner. I think anyone who views it is going to be a lot happier with what they're seeing on the page, and you're going to be a lot happier with the rewards you're going to get.
So you had an opportunity to get some pointers from the king of Kickstarter, Brian Polito, as you said.
Definitely the king.
Kind of describe that, I guess, a little bit. Is that like a fanboy moment? Was that
it's
one of those Wayne's World, I'm not worthy things? Was that like a
you see him, I see the numbers he pulls, and I'm like, this guy is so far. He's at that level that I think all of us in the independent market, we want to be him eventually. We want to get to where he is. And just seeing what he does and looking at his advice on things is like, wow, this is the way I looked at this was wrong. Okay. It's kind of like from an anime standpoint, like if you were just a random martial artist, you got a chance to spar with Goku. Like, I am learning everything I've done wrong my entire life. Okay. Now I know what I need to do right.
So, I mean, does a lot of it too, his situation being a little bit different from your situation,
right.
Did everything he said apply, you feel, or was it, you're going to, even though you're not sure if it applies, you're going to try and shoehorn it to make it apply?
I think there's even some things that may not apply to me at the level I'm at right now. I think there's some wisdom in there. I think there's some tidbits I can still take from it, and I can continue to grow because of it.
Good answer. No, I mean, that is a good answer. It's nice to see, you're on issue 4, you've done 4, and while you've done 4, you've only done 4. You're not looking at it, well, I've done 4, I know what the fuck I'm doing. That remaining a student, remaining willing to learn and to learn from some of the best is that's a sign that you're ready to improve. And I mean that's a good thing for fans. You know what I mean?
I'd agree.
Because those are the only people that win in that kind of situation. When you're willing to learn and improve and to follow the advice and tutelage of people that have been doing this for much longer, the people that win are the fans, the people that buy into the Kickstarter, because they're going to get the best of what you had to offer.
Well, that's what I think. Ultimately, that's what it's all about, is giving people who read my book the best experience possible. I don't want to deliver a book that you just kind of read and go, that was okay. I've never been a fan of stories like that. I like books that when you read it, you feel like I need to sit down for a minute because that was a journey. That's what I want people to feel when they read my work. I've read several books like that. Brian K. Vaughan, Rick Remender, writers who are exceptionally good at delivering that experience. I wouldn't consider myself in the same boat as those guys by a long shot, but I want to be able to accomplish with my work what they do. I mean, I've read parts of Saga and stuff from like Tokyo Ghost where you're like, wow, I need to digest this for a minute. And that's part of the purpose of Cremisi in a story. We focus a lot on characters that are dealing with issues like PTSD, anxiety, depression, abandonment issues, things that a lot of people today are going through, but there's not really a lot of outlet for that kind of stuff. For the longest time, talking about those issues was taboo. You weren't allowed to come out and say, hey, I feel internal pain. You weren't allowed to say that. You would be considered weak, or people wouldn't want to listen to you, which is a horrible mentality to take upon that.
Yeah.
But I will hope my work can depict characters going through those issues and facing those problems to help people see that those issues do not define you, and so that as my characters overcome those issues, to inspire them that they can be overcome, that you can win this battle. And I think if through the creation of my work and the stories that I'm telling, if I can do that for just one person, then we've done our job on the book.
Well, I mean, speaking of, let's tell me a little bit about the main character. Tell me, some of the character development, what some of the, I guess, the plot, the backstory of the character itself.
Sure, absolutely. My main character is a character named Shay. We never know his last name or anything like that. He's a non-human species. I don't have a cover on it right now. He's a member of a race called the Kaniks, which is an anime. If you're a fan of anime, you're used to seeing characters that have animal ears and tails. I like that trope on alien characters because it makes them interesting, but they're still human enough to be related to. So he's a member of a race like that, and he spent most of his life in what we're calling free space, which is, the book is a science fiction, more so science fantasy, but most of it takes place way out in space. And he spent most of his life in parts of space that are not regulated by an official government. So you've got a lot more inequality, you've got a lot more oppression, you've got a lot bigger problem with pirates, but the trade to that is you have more freedom to be who you want to be and explore life where you want to explore it. So this character is someone who has already done a lot of that in his life. And at the beginning of the book, we discuss what's called the Cremisi incident, where 15 years ago, from the time the story begins, there was a small planetary colony where every person on it was killed brutally by some creature known as Cremisi. We haven't got to the point in the story where we know how it happened yet, but we do know that Shay knows something about it. He isn't talking about it, and for some reason, he is an excessive alcoholic, to the point where if he ceases drinking, he starts seeing hallucinations of dead bodies and complete horrors. So he spends most of his time kind of inebriated. Sometimes we're going to get glimpses of the person he really is. Is he really this drunken, womanizing piece of garbage? Maybe, maybe not. But you'll see glimpses of his true personality come out from time to time. Sometimes he seems capable, but a lot of times Shay is kind of lazy. So he'll push himself, like in issues 1 through 2, he pushes himself to a sidekick position behind another character. He'll let them do most of the work, and he'll just kind of step in here and there, a little effort as he needs to put into it. But the story is about how he's going to grow and realize the mistakes he's made, and how he's going to have to figure out how to overcome them and make up for what he's done.
So I guess I think when you first described it as somewhat of a Western, I think.
Very much so. Very much in the space Western category. If you were a fan of Firefly, Outlaw Star, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, if you were into those kind of things, even The Mandalorian, if you like that show, you will really love Cremisi. It's very much in the same vein. It's going to hit that same nerve for you.
So what you're talking about him kind of taking the lead and taking it back. Is there specific weapons and things that he uses? Does he have powers? Does he have?
Yes. In the universe of Cremisi, magic exists. There's different kind of variations of it. Shay himself likes to use a pair of 57 Magnums, chosen because that's my personal favorite handgun. Even though there's significantly more advanced firearms in this point in time, that's his personal preference. He also has the ability to use what's known in this universe called universal magic, or verse magic for short. Certain races can use it, and it's kind of a rare gift for those who can. And what that is that's inspired a lot by shows like Dragon Ball Z or Bleach or Naruto, where they have these ability to channel power through their bodies. In this case, universal magic works by taking the universe of the energy, which is an unlimited source, and channeling it through your body to do various things with it. You could create a blast of energy. You could create an image. Some races use it artistically. Some use it as a weapon. In Shay's case, he only knows 3 or 4 spells, but he uses them as weapons primarily. We'll meet other characters along the way who can do different things with it. There's a secondary type of energy we have. Humans in this universe cannot use universal magic. It's not built into them. But taking some inspiration from a show like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which you haven't seen, please do. Humans have a thing called chi energy, which you're going to see in issue 4, and you're really going to like the way it works. Chi energy is a very similar concept. It's just that where universal magic pulls from the universe and allows you to use an unlimited source. That being said, it might be unlimited, but it's very hard on your body to use it. So you're still limited in how much you can actually use. Chi energy pulls energy from inside your own body as a human being, which doesn't hurt your body as much. But as a human and as an individual person, you've only got so much you can give. So eventually you're going to get tired out, and eventually you're going to be exhausted. Again, think of it kind of like a Dragon Ball Z character. Kind
of like mana.
Yeah, basically it's like mana. You can use a lot of it, but once it's out, you're going to have to rest for a little while.
Okay. I guess, the interior of your book is a little unique in the way that you do not, but do color certain things. Kind of give an example.
Certainly.
About that.
That's fine.
You definitely do color pop, I guess, is the...
That's right. You know what? I can go to the very first page.
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll use the first page here. We use a style that we've kind of dubbed BWC, which stands for Black, White, Crimson. The only colors we use are on the other side are accents of red and variations of that. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it stylistically looks very good for what we want to do. The book is called Cremisi, which is the Italian word for crimson. So it fits into that little niche pretty well. The other reason we want to do that is because when you get into situations, I think I can show one off without spoiling anything here. When you get into situations you see it in a lot of comics. I can show this off a little bit. See the guy getting punched in the face here and the blood coming out of his face. You see a lot of comics, anime, manga, etc., where a guy will get his head blown off and the blood goes everywhere, but it doesn't. You're like, whatever, it just happened. Okay. I don't particularly find that very realistic. When something like that happens, it does have an impact on those who witness it, whether or not you're the person who created that incident or if you're just a bystander. It does stand out. So I want that to pop off the page a little bit so that when we do have violence occur in the book, which the book does have a decent level of violence, not extreme, but we do have that, it stands out to the reader. You see something happen to somebody and it helps stick in your mind, and that may come up later. For instance, one of the best moments of that is in issue 1 where Shay has a hallucination and he sees bodies all around him. It's the fact that they're black and white, but the blood just pops out of the screen and it's everywhere. Like, okay, that does look like it would just scare the living mess out of you if you just suddenly looked down and that was there.
So I guess with that, I mean, that sounds like very interesting, and I do enjoy the color pop style. What?
I want to see if you're paying attention.
The color pop style is something that I've always been drawn to myself. But speaking of colors and styles and your book, we do have one of a surprise guest coming on the show today. We have Mr. Eric Chen popping up with us, I think. Come on. There he is.
Hello.
Here, let me get it like that. So there we go.
Awesome.
Now where everybody's in. How you doing, Eric?
Not too bad. How are you?
Pretty good, man. We're on here with Isaac, obviously. You guys know each other.
Yep.
Kind of talking about Cremisi.
Nice to see you, Eric.
And the upcoming
nice to see you too.
Kickstarter, which is on the 11th, I believe you said, yes?
Yes, it is. The 11th. With this cover from Mr. Chen right here.
So I guess
a lot of fun to illustrate. Yeah.
let's
You did a great
you two
job.
kind of talk about how you came to that, and some of the other ideas that you may have had, but ultimately ended up going with this. And I'll let you two have at it.
Sure. Eric, I know you and I talked about it a lot. Like I asked you, like, do you want to do a homage cover? Do you feel like that would be a good idea? And you were all for it.
Right.
We tried to figure out for a little while, like, okay, what do we homage? I love the idea of paying respect to the masters, people who created anime and manga, which is my primary inspiration, but I still love, Batman and the Justice League. I love that. I wanted to create homages to the works that inspired me and people who, in my opinion, are kind of the masters of their craft. And Akira is definitely one of those creme de la creme books and movies. So I wanted to create something like that. And I asked you about it. And you were all for it. I think you mentioned that you were also like a big fan of Akira, the movie.
Right. Yeah. So we actually talked through a few ideas, and initially we wanted to do the iconic bike slide scene.
Right.
But I think in the end I felt at least it might have been too iconic, as in too many people have done it. So I was looking through the posters and I came across, the one where he's fixing his bike. And I was like, oh, this would work really well. And so I passed that idea off to Isaac, and we decided, yeah, let's go with this. And that's how we came up with the idea to homage that particular poster.
Now, as far as the color scheme of the bike, I'm not all that familiar with Akira or and his book doesn't have any colors inside it.
No.
So it's kind of hard for me to have a reference. Is that something that you chose? Was that something that was canon to your story, or is that the color of the original Akira bike?
No, the original Akira bike is red.
Okay.
So every character in Cremisi, whether or not we're going to get a chance to see it, I kind of think of them like fighting game characters where everybody's got a standard color palette.
Uh-huh.
Like if you're a Mortal Kombat person, Sub-Zero always wears blue, Scorpion always wears yellow. It's just kind of that way. And Renee's,
Power Rangers.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, well,
a color helps you identify with the character. Helps you know who it is. You see that color, you know who you're thinking of. In the case of Renee, her primary color is green. So I told Mr. Chen that, and he went, okay, what color's the bike? I said, well, we haven't really colored it yet. What do you think? And he ran with the green, and it just looks beautiful.
Very good looking cover. I think the exhaust. I mean, now is the bike modeled directly after that, or is it? Did you take some liberties and add some stuff to it?
So actually, the bike was already designed. I think it was in the last issue where Renee was riding it, and it's also on the cover of issue 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went with that design and then incorporated a little bit of creative licensing just to get the positioning and stuff right. But overall, I think pretty faithful to what's in the panel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an amazing cover. I'll guarantee that's the one I'm going to be pledging to, mostly because I'm biased and I like Eric Chen.
Thank you, Corey.
Easily one of my favorite artists in the world right now. Easily.
I mean, I do like the fact that it's at least in American comics, the way everything's gone digital. You have decided to remain in a traditional format with a lot of your work, and you can see it, and it has a very good feel to it. A very, I guess, I mean, I don't want to say old time feel, but it's definitely got that I guess grassroots feel to comic art.
Well, no, that's perfectly right.
Where all the stuff that guys my age when we got into it we loved, even if we're not so much a fan of the manga or the style characters and art, it definitely feels that way with the comic art, and I dig it. I really do. And that's not my bias speaking. That's as a fan of art, I like it.
Yeah, Cremisi takes great inspiration from the 90s era of anime and comics. Batman the Animated Series, Outlaw Star, Trigun, Gundam Wing, stuff that came on Toonami when we were kids coming home from school. And Eric did a great job in capturing that older feel on the comic, which is what I try to capture in our work. And this just feels like classic era. It's beautiful.
So is this going to be exactly, positioned what the cover is going to look like?
Yes, this is 100% what the cover will look like. There are some options for signed variations, certificate authenticity, room marked and numbered, but this is what it's going to look like on the cover itself.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's going to be incredible. So what are you going to have? Are there going to be metal options or anything like that? Are you going to not do that for this one? Just going to be just the plain cover, no virgins or anything like that?
Yeah, it's just no virgins. We will come back in the future with issue 4 again one day, and we'll offer some more goodies on that then, but I can't talk about that yet.
So I guess we won't keep you too long, Eric. I know you were actually in the middle of your work day, correct?
No one has to know, right?
Yeah.
I do want to say Eric's idea to not do the sliding bike scene. We talked about that in great detail, and that's referenced in Batman the Animated Series, Ninja Turtles, a plethora of anime have all referenced that scene. And Eric brought up the very solid point. He told me, hey, I think that's a little overdone. And I've learned that myself, I can barely draw a straight line. I can draw a fox. That's all I can do. I've learned to listen to artists. If they say they have an idea, don't be too big-headed. Go, okay, what's your idea? I should listen to you. Eric was completely right in every way. This looks unique. It's beautiful. It stands out way more to me than the bike slide would.
And I think with the negative space too, it says a lot. I mean, it focuses everything in on on Renee.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Right. In the bike, and without all the busy, sliding and all the other stuff going on it, you get that main focus on the character, exactly what you want to focus on. And so it's a fantastic cover. So, and I don't mean to sit here and gush over it, but I'm gonna. So.
I'm so grateful to hear that. It was a blast to illustrate.
So we are at our time limit now. I do want to thank Isaac and Eric for coming on. Isaac, you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the Kickstarter? Give us the day again where people can follow you.
Yeah, we are going to be on. Sorry,
go, dude.
We are on Kickstarter, launched the 11th. That's this week on Thursday. We're launching in the later part of the day. You can find us on Facebook at Cremisi Comic. You can find us on Twitter, Cremisi Official. You can find us on Instagram, Cremisi Comic. Look us up on there. If you ever want to talk, you send us some messages. We're always welcome to talk to people. You can find out all kinds of rewards through our social media. And the Facebook launches on the 11th. You're going to see everything on there. And we're going to keep adding, we're going to keep building and making it better and better as time goes on. We've already got our next step after this Kickstarter planned. We know what we're going to do. We're going to keep delivering content to you guys. That's the goal.
All righty. And Eric, where can people find you?
So I'm pretty active on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So
Eric Chen?
Eric Chen or WeiGC, either of those.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we look forward to hearing the results of the Kickstarter once it closes, because I'm excited.
Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, I'm as excited as anybody for this one, guys. All right, Eric. Thanks. We'll let you get back to your day. And
all right, thanks
Isaac,
a lot.
Isaac, thanks for coming on, buddy. And
thank you, Corey.
Can't wait to hear the results. All right, guys.
Good seeing you, Eric.
Thanks for tuning in. Guys, tune in on Wednesday for the Retailer Roundtable when we'll go live with Jesse James, JJ, John Jesperson, and Rich Capobianco. And it is going to be a doozy, especially after the DC announcement. Also, get ready for the Comic-Con line, the 3rd edition, July 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. It is going to be a hell of a show. We have 27 creators lined up at this point, and it's going to be amazing. Guys, follow Isaac, follow Eric. We will see you next time.
Thanks, guys, and thank you, Corey.
Thank you.